I'm not my breath. I'm not even my body. I move beyond thinking. I move beyond my mind. I move beyond even a single thought. And I invite Samuel and my guides to speak through me. Welcome back. We are glad you choose to celebrate. For is not each day a celebration? You celebrate the birth you celebrate the birthday. We remind you to celebrate the transition day also, dear ones. The day when you are welcomed back home. In your humanness, you attach so much value to the physical presence of the light that walks in that body. Did not one at our last session make connection with one she lost and walked out on the bridge and gave him a hug? That brought her back to him. Yes, this veil of human illusion seems so very strong, but we tell you the veil is so very thin, dear ones. If you choose to explore it, if you choose to open yourself to it. That's why we spoke last time of these bridges that you can build. And we remind you they are of your own design, dear ones. If you choose to speak with your guides, your angels, or your lost loved ones, you can build a bridge to each one of them. We celebrate the love that you are when you gather, when you choose to open the connection, to be part of this bridge. To lend your energy to it. To be part of the development of it. To open yourself. To experiences your five senses. Oftentimes struggle to allow you to comprehend. Yet here we speak to you through his vessel, yet again. Sharing with you. Sharing the joy. Sharing the peace. Sharing the strength. Sharing the courage. Sharing the gratitude and the humility and the love that you are. We have said this before. We remind you yet again. This sea of consciousness, this vibration that you are. As you raise it, it lifts not only you, it lifts all others, seen and unseen. For we are all part of this fabric, this matrix of light and love that knows no disconnection, that is intertwined in ways unexplained, yet ever present, ever unfolding in its beauty, in its grace. Rest in the knowing. That you are never alone, dear ones. Never unguided. Never uncared for. Forever wrapped in a loving matrix of love and light. In and of it you are. Whether joyous, whether grieving, you are still wrapped in it, surrounded by it. Whether angry or hopeful, you are wrapped in it. And yes, there are those times where in your humanness you feel disconnected. You feel separate. And again, we tell you illusions of the ego. This remembrance of who and what you are grows within each and every one of you. Nurtured by the love and light that surrounds you, that is you. It's why this term awakening is apropos. Why we say it never ends. There's always more. There's always a deeper understanding. A broader perspective of the light and love that you have woven not only in this lifetime, in all of them. Are there any questions, dear ones? Knowing how wrapped in love you are,
I had a question, Samuel, and it has to do with like when somebody comes through a medium and they make suggestions to you. They say, I would like you to do, they aren't saying do that thing, but they would say that that would be, they lead you to believe it's a beneficial thing that you would do. Then my belief was, when I heard it, was that it would be something for my highest and best good, because it was someone that cared about me very much. But it was something I had resistance to, Samuel. And it's kind of confusing. Is that clear, the way I said that?
where does the resistance lie, dear one?
Where does it, in me, in my choices?
Is that not why it is a suggestion? You still have the free will of choice. You still have this opportunity. To review what was asked of you.
Maybe you're just not ready for it yet.
Does it align with love, dear one?
Oh, well, it definitely would. You know, I could see where it would, definitely. Expansion.
Then this resistance you speak of,
Yes.
is it not of the ego?
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from.
We tell you it is, dear one.
It is the ego. So it's this comfort zone thing. Fear. Fear. Fear.
Is that not what this raising of your vibration is all about, your frequency? You step to the edge. You don't leap off the edge. You kind of tiptoe off the edge because there is a resistance there. This expansion we speak of, this limitlessness we speak of. Hard to wrap your mind around that one.
then I think the resistance is actually silly in the scheme of the cosmos that I know we're all one.
Yeah.
From the higher perspective, it is, dear ones.
Do it.
You came into this plane, as we stated, to experience this humanness. And even though these faculties that you have in this human form seem grand, there are things that seem to be, quote unquote, outside of them, beyond your understanding or beyond your willingness to attempt. This resistance you speak of, reared its head, so to speak, in this one that we are coming through.
Can resistance also be a way of saying that's not the right direction?
Yes, that's why we asked you if it was aligned with love.
And if it would flow, then you did. It doesn't, then.
Well, it's kind of...
Even then, dear ones, are you ready? We work with this one, and you talk of this anniversary of when it began. We tell you when it began was long before we first spoke through him. We had to work on him for a while to get him ready to do this very thing he does before you. He was scared. Had no idea what would happen, how it would unfold. Still, he comes in to these sessions and sits down with vague inklings possibly of what might transpire, knowing full well he has no idea what we are going to talk about on most occasions. We feed him tidbits now and then, but not that often. So you could say, one of the things he does to get by his resistance is to do this meditation, to do these things that bring him some comfort level that he is stepping into this in the proper way. For us, we just see it as his chosen way to prepare. And we allow it to unfold.
Are you saying all the preparation is just for Keith's comfort and not...
We are always with him.
Oh, yeah.
We are always around.
It's probably knowledge and growth too.
Well, it's a comfort zone. It's a comfort zone.
Just as she spoke, there was this discomfort level with her. There is a discomfort level with him. This logical mind of his still grapples with these sessions? Still questions?
Did you help keep him longer today so we could get things together for him to give us a little extra time?
Set him up, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, we thank you.
And even though he even took the time to sit there and ask the pendulum for a confirmation and got yes, he was still concerned that he was running over, running late, getting out here, not knowing what was unfolding with the party hats. We did not tell him that part, dear ones. We left that for you.
Thank you.
Like you say, we just delayed him a bit.
Divine intervention.
Goes on far more often than you realize, dear ones. As we spoke, this love and light, this tapestry tugs and pulls at you all the time. This discernment That's why we ask you these questions. When you feel in a quandary, ask yourself, does this align with love? Is it a loving thing to do?
So love should always win out over the logic as far as our fullest expansion and growth.
Love is what you are.
What is it that finally makes us comfortable with, say, making that choice that we had been resisting? And I guess I'm referring to, for me personally, like the store. Like once I had been fine with it, and then it was very difficult. Now it seems very easy and not fearful and resistant. What is it that changed again?
You speak of acceptance.
Yes.
You speak of alignment. These times when you question whether or not you are truly in alignment, whether or not that truly is in alignment with love, with the highest and the best.
So when it's difficult, we're doubting. And when it's easier, when it's easy, it's because we're in alignment.
Yeah.
And timing. It's timing too.
Yeah.
Right, Sam?
Just like today. Sometimes a delay is, how do you say, fruitful
Yes.
for the outcome.
Yes. Interesting. Yes.
Sometimes this delay we speak of is time for you to digest the true meaning. The true purpose.
I can see that because I have learned much in the past 2 years. Much.
And how many threads had to come into the weave from different directions. Some that you did not even realize. Much goes on for all things to fall into place, so to speak. Isn't that part of this acceptance? Sometimes in your humanness, again, we speak of this web, this weave. You get so focused on one strand that you cannot see the beauty of what is coming together until you step back. And see it from a higher perspective. See the beauty of what is unfolding from the many threads that make up the tapestry. This hesitation, these times when you question, sometimes, dear ones, in your humanness, you think you can control far more than you actually do. As we stated, there are many things that must come together.
Would you say it's very important for all of us to meditate and just find times during every day to just empty our minds completely so that y'all can work more with us?
Was that not a lesson that we discussed in the last channel? How much energy is actually moving in the silence? Still your humanness to connect with your spiritualness. And yes, you know full well, dear Laura, that this one sat and asked specific questions just for him. And one of the answers that we gave to him was the importance of meditation. Taking time each and every day to just still yourself. Bridges are being built in the stillness, dear ones. And again we state, whether you realize that or not. Part of your humanness, especially in this society in which you all reside, looks for this instant gratification, results.
When I journal, it seems that my thoughts are what I ask for. Like I receive help with it almost immediately. Am I imagining that, or is it just that I'm putting it down and putting it out there, or making it...
There is much power in journaling. This one has sat at that table right over there. Just writing randomly whatever flows into his mind. He's witnessed this on a number of occasions where, just as you said, all of a sudden it is as if he has opened up a communication link. We can speak to you through the pen just as well as through thoughts, dear ones.
So some of what I'm writing, are you helping me write? Is that what you're saying? Instead of me thinking it, I'm writing it, but you're helping me think it? Is that it? Yes?
Helping you think through it, dear one.
Interesting. Here, I thought I was having an awakening to things.
Yes,
It is. Do not discount it. Do not immediately start putting it down or to a lower level. Do not question it.
I like it. I just never thought of it that way before. I thought of it as me, I guess, getting feelings and stuff out. It took me a long time to realize that what I was hearing in my head weren't just random thoughts, but yet something I should pay attention to, you know.
As we said, we speak to you often, dear ones, and it is a matter of how well are you listening.
Interesting.
And you can listen in more ways than one, as you have just described.
I tend to use verbal affirmations a lot, and not just rote ones. It comes through, and it's a stream of consciousness that comes out, because I truly believe the word goes and does something, goes somewhere, and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so I will go into the quiet, and I will start talking. And I believe it is me, but I go through, and this upliftment will happen, and it's an elevation of my consciousness into another meditative state, and the words just keep flowing. And then I know when it's done, and then I just say, and so it is, or something like that. is that just my comfort zone with doing something rather than taking a pen to paper? Because I find that very easy. I find it comfortable.
Use what works for you, dear ones.
Easy.
There are many paths.
Yeah, easy.
There are many ways to experience this. At the suggestion, we spoke of this before, this holistic breathing technique that he's been working with. He listened to this introduction. Reminded he was that as he proceeded to continue to do this, that he should seek other avenues, to be creative with it, to delve into it. The very last time he listened, yes, there is music involved, but the one who made this speaks affirmations now and then. Even though he was doing this breathing technique, he chose to pause and recite out loud those affirmations and could feel the energy shift. It changed. The experience became deeper, more meaningful for him. That's why we continue to tell you to play with this. Find the way that works for you. But don't give up experimenting. Seek a deeper understanding. A deeper release. Words flowed from him. First verbally, then written in that exercise.
Does the man in the purple hood, is he with you? I'm curious.
He's part of the council, dear one. Some of these urges he has to write come from the man in the purple robe.
Does he have like a specific something to teach Pete? You know, like, I guess we all learn something from...
Patience. He's been waiting for him to show himself for a while.
I'm waiting. I'm practicing patience.
Really work on my foot.
What can Carol do for her foot? Any suggestions?
Say again.
What can Carol do for her foot? It's been a while now.
2 months. It's better. I want it going. Plantar fasciitis. The exercises help. It's like it gets better, then I go out and work in the yard, and it's like, that's what I did again the other day.
As long as you do your exercise faithfully, you're
If I
fine.
did exercise and then rest, it's fine, but I can't do that all day long. I've got
Oh, okay. So in other words,
lots of things to do, so I have to, I can take some pills. Curcumin helps.
Turmeric.
Try soaking it in a warm Epsom salts bath. Dear one.
I haven't done that. They kept telling me ice, and I just couldn't do ice. It just didn't seem to work, and so I wrap it up in heat, and that helps. But I haven't soaked it.
That would draw things out. That would be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I haven't done it. Because it's supposed to be all the way up the leg, and I had Pam Schrader work on this part of the leg, and it cleared that part up. So,
Good.
and then the other morning I got up, and it was like deep inside my leg. I could feel this. It's like it unlocked. I mean, I could feel it like it unhooked, and so it felt better since then.
Oh, good.
So it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try not to complain about it. You know, it's just, I'm just impatient. Somebody told me it lasts a year, and I said, no, that's not going to happen. In fact, my friend said she had gone to therapy. The doctor was going to give her cortisone shots, and finally she found somebody that said, stop everything you're doing, and only do light things like roll your foot on a little ball and just simple things. And she said within a couple of days it was gone. So,
Well, it's a focus thing too.
mhm.
It's a focus thing.
Yeah. 'Cause she was just thinking that's
Yeah,
all she
that's
thought
all
about.
you get self-absorbed with this one
Right,
issue,
right.
and then you think, well, my goodness, I'm wasting a lot of time here.
Right,
Thinking about this one thing that's really, everything else is going great.
Right.
So,
That's true.
so I think a lot has to do with that, with where our focus goes.
Right.
The old saw, which you resist, persists.
We come back to resistance.
Resistance again.
Patience and allowing
Patience. That's
the healing to take place. Patience and not overdoing as you are in the process of healing.
right.
This one we speak through has had many battles with that one. Jumping back in too fast, so to speak, and wondering why he still is lame.
I do that too.
We suggest it is time for us to join the party.
Yes,
And we
sweetie,
bid
yes.
you a love-wrapped adieu.